is what tells us where the money will come from. The appropriations bill says how you're going to spend it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about where the money is going to come from.
Good.
Based on what KRA has been able to do in this fiscal year that's coming to an end. We'll start with you, Dr. Rugo.
Yes, thank you.
Where's 4.8 trillion shillings going to come from?
Good. Thank you very much. So let me start by saying that the statement today is a highlight of statement of the budget. The budget was submitted in Parliament on 30th of April, and all the necessary documentation. And for clarity, the Parliament website and the Treasury website has all those documents for any Kenyan who would like to look at them. Where does the money come from? So our budget is financed largely from three sources. And the first source, of course, is what we call ordinary revenue, tax. So that's going to be the biggest portion. That direct tax is where income tax, VAT, value-added tax, import duty, and then excise duty. So that's normally the biggest portion, and of that, income tax, both corporate income tax and personal income tax, is big. And those are the large pieces that KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority, is responsible for collecting. Then the second part of financing is what we call non-tax revenue, or in the language of budgets, appropriation in aid. So appropriation in aid is all the charges, levies, and rates that are paid for services rendered by government. So let me give you an example. You go to NTSA, you need a new driving license, you pay something. You are transferring land from myself to Prof, I pay something. All those monies that are collected by...
that was happening.
Knock on wood.
Prof, I may just gift you now that you can't make it to the US. So in this particular budget, you're talking about 2.985 trillion coming from the ordinary revenue. You're talking about another 660 coming from the appropriations in aid. Now, then the third part is, if the two, you will have other grants and donations, but they're normally a very small portion. Like this year, we're talking about less than 50 billion. The last portion is when you have a deficit between your expenditure and your revenue of those two pieces, then the difference is what you borrow. So those two first figures are 3.6. We're expecting 3,000. For his use of words, allow me just to use simpler figures. Our budget is around 4,800 Kenya shillings. Those two figures I've talked about is 3,600.
Okay.
And therefore we have about 1,200, which is the deficit, which is what now you borrow. And when you less the donations and the grants, then you will come to about 1.1. So that's how the budget is going to, is planning to be. But it's an important thing I need to say at this particular point. The fact that you have about 660 billion or 660, from my number, 660 shillings that you are charging on different services, yet Kenyans have already paid taxes up front for those very services, means that the cost of accessing public services is actually going up. And the interesting thing that we notice is that appropriation in aid is what actually has been rising fastest. It's the income stream for government that is growing fastest. Income tax is actually declining.
Well, what's an example of a tax that Kenyans have paid up front for which the budget is looking for an extra charge?
Let me give you an example. So, for instance, when you pay for, when you have already paid, so you've paid your income tax, government has already collected money to provide a service called environmental protection, for instance. But when you go to set up your business, you'll have to pay a permit to NEMA.
Okay.
And several of them. There's also tax for transport and transport regulation. But when you go to NTSA, you'll pay for that service. So basically, it means that the more, and it's common to charge across the world, but the more these charges, remember even the ID, the immigration department, whether you're thinking about your passport, whether you're thinking about your renewal of the ID, whether you're thinking about all these, that package of these extra non-tax measures, and then when you come to the county level, for instance, you add permits, business permits, and what have you, is what actually complicates the cost of doing business, is what actually increases the cost of living, because you go to, for instance, your charges for, you bought your car, When you bought that car, you paid import duty.
Yes.
Then when you go to buy fuel, you pay for the price of bringing that fuel. But you have other rates in there that are not taxes. You have, forex adjustment levy, you have petroleum levy, you have railway development levy. When you look at all those levies, are the ones that increase the pump price. And you have also paid VAT on it. So you see what I'm saying? That there are these other extra charges which, the more they grow, as long as they are the ones growing more, remember they are enforceable. Because if you don't pay a fee to NEMA, they will come for you.
Yeah.
If you don't pay your driving license, they will come for you. The police will be there waiting for you on the road, and the like. When you pay for your insurance, you'll pay for excise duty, but you'll also pay for when you pay your bills at the hotel, you'll pay for VAT for that service, but you'll also pay catering levy and tourism development levy.
Yes.
Those are the ones I'm talking about. So, and that has been the portion that has been growing fastest, which would explain, just my last point, why the cost of living is going up. Because the cost of doing business is going up in and of itself, which